Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. I'm TCaptainX. If you've noticed Warzone lobbies, the skill-based matchmaking has just been cranked. The difficultiness, the sweatiness of the lobbies have just been to the absolute max, and you're not alone because I feel that way and a lot of other people I've talked to feel that way. And even someone like myself who plays this game for a living, I've been struggling to drop higher kill games as of late. So I've recognized that and I've tried to go in and make some adjustments to my gameplay so that I can play better, get more kills, and get more wins. So in today's video, we're gonna break down a 20+ kill game in a sweaty Vondel Resurgence lobby so that you guys can understand what is going through my mind and what the small details are to get better at Warzone. So first of all, dropping right in here, I normally land Maul in Vondel. However, Vondel or Maul has just been kind of more of like a, there's so much chance of things to go wrong there because there's often 3-4 teams landing there. So we've been landing at a little bit different area here. Now, right off the rip here, I do end up climbing over and get somewhat of a free kill there, but you're gonna notice the minimap here, I get 2 pings across from me in the building over. One is a regular dot, meaning he is on my level. The other one has a arrow pointing down below it, meaning he is at least 1 level or more below me here. So we're gonna move up, we're gonna reload here, and we're gonna immediately look and start looking that direction. Now, I've only got a sniper, not a great long range gun to use in this situation. We're gonna call a mortar in as well here. Now, I'm gonna try to get up high ground here, and I wanna find a spot that I can have an angle to see that direction, that I'm not gonna be overexposed. So I can use the kind of angle of this roof as somewhat natural cover here. Now, I don't see one. However, I immediately heard one right below me. So as I look, there is a guy right below me. Now, I am in the middle of switching my gun here. So this is not a good play for me to just try to challenge this. So you're gonna watch how I'm gonna go back, cut off line of sight. I'm gonna get my MP5 out, which is my close range weapon. It's gonna be the better option to use compared to that Kasov 70 for you here. And now I'm gonna go and I am gonna utilize some movement here by simply running and jumping off because I'm gonna be a very fast moving target and very difficult to hit for him. So you're gonna see he was aiming actually up at the top and he wasn't kind of expecting me to kind of run slightly to the left, and it just allowed me to get some better shots here. So I do drop down. If you didn't see, there was a ping of a red dot pointing up to this building. So I know that is likely where his other teammate is gonna be. So we're gonna get the reload off and we're gonna start working back up to the top to get over there. Now, they just called in an occupation scan. So an occupation scan, of course, when this timer goes to 0, if I'm not prone or underwater, I'm gonna pop up on the minimap. So we're gonna stay prone here. I am centered on the doorway in case this guy were to bust through here, and nobody else is near me, but I know from that previous ping that I got, he has to be in this area around me, but he was probably smart like myself and he probably prone and stayed off the occupation scan. So as I start looking that direction where he last was, there he is right over here. Now, I have my MP5 out. It's a little bit too far of a distance for me to take with this MP5, so I'm gonna get closer. But when I do, he now sees me. So I have 2 options. I could just start shooting, or the better option here is to cut off line of sight. So I'm gonna just go to the right a little bit. Now he cannot see me, but I still know he's roughly here. Now we're gonna utilize just a little bit of movement to run out and kind of jump chow this and start aiming where he recently was. So very simple techniques to kind of cut off line of sight. Use some very, very simple movement like jumping and things like that, just so that I can minimize the amount of damage I am taking in these fights here. So now that we've kind of taken some of the initial fights out, our goal is to get as much money as possible so we can get a loadout. This guy is landing in here and we're gonna end up being able to team shoot and down that guy here. So early game, my thought process is land in, get a gun, clear the immediate area around me, and then start focusing on getting enough money to get a loadout. Loadout guns are just a whole step above your regular guns here, and also the ability to have perks. Your equipment is very, very important. Now here, you're gonna see I started to slow down here because I am hearing some footsteps down below me. And so I'm gonna just play this smart. I don't need to do anything crazy here. We get him cracked here, and then again, we're gonna use some simple movements to just run and jump off. Now, one of the most important things about when you're using kind of some basic movement techniques like that, like a jump challenge or something like that, is just to make sure that you are centering your aim very well when you are jumping so that your center dot is as close to where that enemy is going to come out from, so that you're not having to adjust your aim in the process here. So now we do get a loadout down. There ends up being another guy over here. However, one of my teammate does go down, but then Snooki, my other teammate, is going to go and get him. We're going to get that team kind of taken care of. So again, we're able to go back to the loadout at this point. Nobody seems to be in our immediate area. I'm going to throw in one of these haunting boxes, which is like a combination between munitions and an armor box. We're going to get all situated here, get plenty of ammo. In my inventory, I like to run max armor plates and then maybe extra AR if I need it. I normally don't run extra SMG because if I'm using my SMG, I'm probably looting people in the process, so I don't really need to worry about that generally. Now, one thing I want to say, we're a little early into the video here. We're only 4 kills in. We're going to end up dropping a 20 kill gameplay here. If already you're finding this type of video helpful, consider subscribing to the channel, because that is one of the main things we do here is try to help get you guys better. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming in MW3 that I'm very, very excited about. So just wanted to throw that out there. So we got a guy landing in here. I am running the Kastov 545 as my long range gun. Going to hit some good shots here, and we're going to dive across to work over here. Now, you're going to see there is a guy right here, and he is staring right at me. His teammate is downed right next to him. So if I were to just start shooting here, this is a risky thing. But what I do here is I'm just going to, again, very small, subtle movement to cut off line of sight, get my gun out, and we're going to start pre-aiming right on this edge where he's about to peek me from. And there, he's going to come out and try and peek me. But because I'm already aimed right where he was, it's pretty easy shots here. To get my finish from earlier, and there's another 2 kills. I am also running my the Lockman sub. As a quick FYI in terms of the loadout I'm running, overall, I think the Tempest Razorback and either the Bass-P or the Lockman sub is probably the best overall Vondel loadout to run right now. There's a lot of other great options too. Kastov 545 is one of the best low recoil guns right now in the game. But I wouldn't consider it like SS tier, but just to throw that out here. I will put the loadouts at the end of the video, by the way. Now, my teammate Rad here, he is going to pop a UAV here. And let's look at the minimap here. So we have got, looks like a team at Stadium, got a team back this way at like Zoo, and then several teams on the other side of the map. 50 people up in this lobby. Lobby's still very healthy. We're still only in the first circle here. So I am going to work over towards Stadium just because it's the closest area for where enemies are. Gonna get a crack on one of the guys up top here. There's multiple people pinging above, 1, 2, 3. However, because of where I am, they could be first, second, or third level of Stadium. I don't really know here. We are gonna get an enemy dropping in call here. Now, this is tricky here. This guy is on the top. He's looking to the left because that's where my teammate is. And there's that guy that just dropped in. I am very exposed in the open here, but because this guy's not looking at me, I am perfectly safe to switch to my 545 challenges. I get him cracked. Now I know he's gone off and he's going to have to replay. So he's going to be out of the fight for a few seconds. Assuming any smart player, they're going to play that before they go back into the fight, right? Now we go look for the loadout. This guy ended up being very weak for my teammate. And now I'm immediately looking back where that guy was. But notice how I'm also utilizing the bus a little bit as some cover. So I don't see him, so we're going to try to move up, and this was just bad COD timing. As soon as I don't see him, as soon as I start to go, he comes around the corner, and I do get shot, but I am able to make it to cover and replay and kind of reset this fight here. Now, we're on the very edge of zone, and honestly, looking back on this, this was a maybe debatable push because we pushed towards a team that was sitting all together in high ground, and we're outnumbered. It's basically a 2v4 here, because it's just me and my one teammate. Our team, we kind of got split up a little bit. See a guy at the top here. Notice how I am pre-aiming right on the edge where they might peek here, and I'm also kind of using this as cover. If one of these guys were to peek, I can very easily run straight forward and cut off their line of sight. So one of the big things that I recommend focusing on is knowing where your cover is so that you can cut off your enemy's line of sight when needed. Now, all of a sudden, I start hearing people behind me and seeing bullets from behind me shooting towards the top. I had no idea this guy was here, so we're going to turn around here. I do get high alerted in the back. That's what the orange bar is, the high alert perk, in case you don't know. It triggers and flashes when someone is looking at you from that direction. But there is a big wall and a bush here, so when I go this way, I am again cutting off the line of sight of the people from the stadium. So now I can try to shoot this guy in the water. Very difficult to see. I'm kind of just barely seeing him. I'm able to get this guy cracked, but he is going to swim away here. Now, as I start to move this way, now I am in the open, and now I have to start looking back towards stadium and make sure I'm not going to get shot at here. So don't see anyone. My teammate Snooki is kind of messing with them, but now I start getting high alerted from multiple directions here. So I'm trying to figure out where am I getting looked at. He's way over there by Zoo. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm in a bad spot. We've got to smoke and we've got to go. Somehow I get sniped in the process. I'm assuming the guy from Top Stadium must have been using a thermal scope sniper. So again, I'm just going to get out of there because I recognize that was not a good fight. I was getting looked at from multiple directions. We just needed to reset and get out of there. One of the big important things about keeping these high kill games, especially in the sweatier lobbies, is knowing when you're in a bad fight here. So, okay, let's back up here just a little bit here and let's break this down here. As I'm running up this way, it's very subtle. I do hear like a slight footstep or some sort of noise in this direction. That is why I turn around. Now, I know someone's gonna ask me, are your footsteps that good? I do use a custom audio tune from my friend Art is War. Recommend checking out his YouTube video. He has an in-depth guide on how to set up his custom audio tune. Unfortunately, it is only available for PC players though. But anyways, I do hear someone. So notice how Crosshair immediately goes on the edge of this door and I'm centered roughly where an enemy would pop out from based on the information I have. And here he comes. He's gonna pop out here. He tries to cut off line of sight and then re-chow, but we do get the down. But now I have another enemy right here. Look where I am. I am in the middle of the open. I don't really have time to go and try to cut line of sight and reload and reset this fight. This is one of those situations you just gotta go. We can't worry about trying to get the finish. This guy is right in front of us, right at us. We have to immediately target switch to this guy and try to get the down here. So I run out of ammo. I hit all good shots, but I'm out of ammo. Now this is something, there's a little bit of luck involved, but this is another reason why I run throwing knives because of situations like this. So I'm able to get the throwing knife down and I'll go back and we'll play that at full speed here. That way you guys can see it. But this is just one of those things that it just comes with time, comes with good aim, good practice, things like that. Run out of ammo, I recognize I'm out of ammo, we go for the throwing knife. Now, if I did miss that throwing knife, one thing that might have been possible there is I did have this wall to kind of maybe cut off my line of sight. I could have maybe worked to left here to cut off line of sight, but it also would have been very easy for him to come around this way. So more than likely, let's say I do miss that throwing knife, I probably try to cut off line of sight for just a moment and then switch to my cast out 545, but ends up working out. We get both of those kills thanks to a great throwing knife shot here. And now we're able to kind of reset here. So get plated up, get reloaded here. We only got 9 kills in the second circle. Nothing too crazy here, but this game is going to definitely pick up here, especially in the end game. Teammate's going to go down here and we are going to be able to help our teammate get that down. And now at this point, don't really think anyone else is over on this side of the map. So we're going to head out and we're going to start working towards zone, towards the center of the map here. So I skipped ahead just a few seconds here. I am trying to work towards zone. We're going to take the zip line up here when I am going to hear someone flying by me. I'm going to see him flying by me and immediately I start trying to get on the edge and look down for this guy. And actually, I think I just saw him to my left now that I went back and watched this. But that guy basically ends up making it out of here as I'm just trying to keep high ground. I don't want to overexpose myself here. I want to make sure I have an exit strategy if I start getting shot at, which would be simply duck behind the cover of the wall on the roof here. But don't really see anyone. I hear some shots going off this way. As I'm scanning the area, we're going to go this way. Now I am going to land on top of this tent because I can use this as some natural cover in front of me if I need to here. But we just popped a UAV and I do have an enemy pretty close to me right in front of me, but I also have people behind me. So I'm in kind of a peculiar spot. I need to kind of pick a direction and go here. My thought process, I only have one person in front of me. Let's go take care of this guy and then we'll deal with the guy behind us. But he's going to end up running away here. And I think my teammate actually ends up downing him. But now I know I have those people back behind me at market. Try to shoot that guy coming in, but spawn protection saves them. Getting high alerted, so we're going to immediately get to cover. And now I see these guys behind me, but I'm getting shot from like every angle right now. So we're just going to try to use what cover we have, plate when we can from behind cover, and work up closer to these guys that are behind us. They have to come towards us because of zone here. Now, I am using the Lockman sub there. Don't get good shots, but we do get some great shots landing in with cast off 545 here. And my teammate Rad is going to be able to get kind of help me out and get those 2 guys down here. So now our backs are cleared. We're good to go. But look up here on the UAV here. You're going to see there's like an entire team in this building. And there's like a whole other team here. So there's like 7, 8 people in this area very close to my right here. I am getting high alerted, probably from people flying in here. Now, as I look, I don't see anybody on the roof here looking at me here. You're going to notice how it's almost like you like check the road before crossing, like look both ways. Look both ways. Nobody's there. Now's our time to move. I could have used smokes if I really needed to. I didn't really need to in that situation. So now my goal is I'm trying to work the high ground and kind of even the playing ground. I always want to try to even the high ground verticality. Never really want to fight from the bottom in those situations here. Now notice how I am, there were lots of pings on this building, so I am pre-aiming this door as I come out. And a guy is going to run out, but my teammates kind of run in front of me, so I move to the side so I have a clear shot. But I'm also getting shot from the left. So again, you probably are hopefully picking up on this theme by now. Cut off line of sight. This is where I can use a smoke grenade. I can throw it to my left here. That smoke is going to block everyone from my left. Now I can just worry about this team. My teammates get 2, I get this guy, and I also get a call out from my teammate on the other side. So we peek up. Well, notice how I'm already relatively centered toward this guy. We get shots on him, and then we're going to jump to the left because I've kind of forced him behind cover that way. And there we go. So if I didn't throw that smoke, I ran the risk of getting sniped or shot at from that other team. But that way I was able to sort of isolate that fight a little bit better. So now we are not in zone. My teammate does call out and he pings this building. Hey, there's people in this building. So we start working this way in here. I've got my Lockman sub out because I'm ready for a close range fight in these very small buildings. This is where the Lockman sub really excels. Now I dropped my money here because my teammate called out. He's like, hey, it's a fire sale. Let's go buy some UAVs here. So I'm gonna take the Proxmine out. Notice how I slow down here. I don't immediately go and I'm trying to see, is there somebody out waiting on me? And there, now we've got a guy on the other side here. Now you have to be very, very careful about these fights. If you were to just immediately just go for it and mantle, you're probably dead. Mantling, you can't shoot your gun when you're mantling through a window or over a ledge and things like that. So I don't want to run that risk. So notice how I'm just simply pre-aiming it and I'm trying to see, but now there's people over here as well. So I'm going to try to get shots from these guys, kind of annoy them, but I have to keep in mind and keep checking both angles here. My teammate gets some shots on him. Now I know this is my time where I can push here. I had him with no armor. I'm getting shot at. I've got to kind of pick a direction here and get in here. So you're going to notice how, again, I'm going very slow. I'm making sure nobody's out here. My aim is centered. And I think this guy maybe ran all the way down the stairs and just kind of ran away. But now the zone is moving and I am right on the edge of zone here. I've got at least 1 or 2 players in below me. It's hard to tell. And I've got at least 2 more players over here. Now you will notice the reason why my UAV is showing like the advanced UAV is because of that fire sale. We actually called in 3 UAVs, which gives you a 60-second UAV, and it shows their constant position of what direction they're looking. So I'm able to jump over, hit the zip here, and it looks like this guy was kind of zigzagging back and forth, which means he's probably was going up the stairs and he's about to come up here. Now I look that way, I don't see him, but as soon as I turn around, if you notice there, I got high alerted in the back, so I immediately turn around. But I don't know if you noticed this. This was very subtle here. I'm gonna kind of show this again what I mean here by this high alert if you didn't see it. Look here, don't see it. Bam, high alerted. So now I know to check my back. And if you can't tell, this guy has a shotgun. I can tell just by the long, skinny gun that he has. So I immediately know I have to keep my distance in this fight here. Honestly, moving into here might have been a mistake because he probably would have been in 1-shot range from right here. But notice how I'm centered there, and now I'm like, you know what? I need to back up here, make sure he's not mantling over. Notice how I am staying back away from the window. He does get a shot on me, and he almost one-shots me, but I was a little bit out of that range where I was able to be out of that 1-shot range here. Now, I am checking the UAV, and I see this guy over here. Now, one downside of an advanced UAV is you don't get the up and down level indicator. So I don't know if this guy's flying in. I don't know where he is, but I look at that direction, and he is right there, and we are able to get this down as he's trying to make it cover here. So we're going to get that down. Got to work in. Thankfully, I do have a durable gas mask, so I don't need to necessarily rush here. I see a bunch of people over this way, but I don't really have time. They're too far away. So we're going to drop down. We're going to play it up here. And I know I just had a ping right in front of me here. So I'm looking this way, but notice how I'm also utilizing that car. And I'm not just standing in the open. Again, I want to harp on this. You guys have to focus on where your cover is and know how to cut off line of sight from enemies here. Now, I do jump out into the open, and probably in hindsight, it might have been a little better to just peek instead of jump out into open here. But this guy's trying to run away here. So again, I'm trying to kind of utilize cover of the car, the trees. But now we have a lot of people in here. We got people flying in a cemetery. I'm getting high alerted to my right side. I get it down. everything's moving really fast at this point. This is where you have to start processing information fast, and it just simply comes with time in order to get to this level. But I get it down, I immediately get to cover. We're gonna reload here and reset and start peeking and seeing. I'm getting UAV dots in front of me, trying to see. It looks like they're moving away from me based on that UAV though. So now I'm gonna start looking left. There's just a lot of people around me. And this is where I'm gonna recognize I'm in a bad situation. I'm getting looked at from multiple angles. So we need to get out of here. We're gonna throw smoke at our feet. We're gonna run to our closest piece of cover, and we're gonna cut off line of sight from the team to my right. We're gonna focus on this team that is here in the cemetery house here. Notice how I'm coming through this door and I'm good centering. I'm starting to pre-aim. Now I'm getting pings above me on this UAV here. There's 2 dots. They're above. There's also 2 dots down below here. So notice how I climb up here. Number one, we've got this guy right here, but I'm able to stay very close to this wall and provide some natural cover where only a small amount of my head is poking through. And this is what we call a head glitch. He also has his own head glitch because he is fighting off the top of this roof, but I do get him cracked here. My teammate is up here helping with me here. We're gonna plate and utilize the wall here. And again, he never played it up. His mistake was he got aggressive. He tried to just keep challenging. If he would have took his time, fell back on the kind of backside of that roof and played it up, it would have been a much more even fight and gave him a chance to win. He doesn't though. Now, remember previously, there were 2 dots above here. So I'm calling out to my teammate, hey, there might be another one up here. And here he is. He's running up over here. Gonna get him down. Gonna get him finished with a throwing knife here. Now, 1, 2 people down below me. Those are the 2 people in the UAV we saw earlier here. I kind of just start spraying and praying with the smoke. We get one down here. I'm going to utilize the roof as cover, but now I need to get down here and get in the mix here and figure out where this other guy went here. I'm not really sure. I'm looking around here, and then now my teammates finds him in here, and we're able to get him down together here. So we're at 15 kills here, 4 circle. Resurgence is disabled. We've got to play smart here. Our one teammate is down at this point. So our goal here is to start working towards the buy station here so that we can get our teammate back. Little inventory management. Like I said, I like to run all plates, maybe hold some extra AR. I am also holding an extra self-res if needed. So we're trying to check the safe here and make sure nobody's at the buy. We're good here. We get a buyback here. Now we've got a lot of money here. So what we're going to end up doing here is we are going to end up popping some UAVs. And this is very helpful because now we know, okay, nobody's in our direct area, but we've got a lot of people across from us here. Where do we want to go? See this guy in the little boat across from us? But somehow we are getting fried through this. I'm in a good place. I have a good use of cover, but we're just getting lasered here. And I recognize, okay, this guy's wall banging me. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to get out of here. I'm in a bad situation here. Again, this is why I love running smoke grenades. For 1, rotating, but 2, if you're in a bad spot, you can just smoke and run. So at this point, I'm like, okay, let's go kind of look a different direction here because we were getting held. We see a guy again in this other little houseboat here. And using the UAV, I'm like, I just start shooting here. I get a few hit marks on him and panic him. See another guy in the water and take him out here. Now, this guy's not looking, so I'm going to run up and try to get this guy. Let me show you a technique here, though, that is very, very useful, especially on Vondel with the water. It's called the Shotzi jump here, where if you look up above the ledge and you spam jump as you're coming out of the water, it's going to allow you to jump instantly out of the water here. So let me go back just a tad here so I can show you what I mean by that. Watch how quickly I get out of the water here. Bam. Immediately out. Gun is ready. Centered on the window. And here comes this guy. He had no idea it was there. Get a free kill by doing that. If that's confusing on how to do that, I do go a little bit more in depth in my Bot to Pro settings video, which is where all my settings is and how I practice my aim and things like that. So I recommend checking out that video if you haven't already here. Now, zone's about to move, but I've got 3 players on top of this building, and we're a little bit ahead of them closer to zone, so I know that we can hold them with zone here. So I'm playing off this wall. We mount up and fry this guy on top here. However, not sure if I'm going to end up getting this down or not. I think his teammates might end up reviving him or he had a self-revive, but his teammates have to move here too. Now, I have literally no idea where those bullets went, but somehow we missed all of them, basically. Now, I do have a durable gas mask, so I don't have to rush too much getting to zone, but now it's starting to move pretty fast, and thankfully, we do get that down with some team shots, and it looks like I did actually end up getting that first down. So I'm working towards zone here. We get plated up. We get reloaded before I get out of the water in case somebody's in here. But when I go in here, there is a cluster mine. Cluster mines are super annoying. They're really powerful, so just try to avoid them. I run out of my gas mask, but there's no need to panic. You can last in gas without a gas mask for like 10 or 15 seconds. It's a decent amount of time, so no need to panic. We work into zone here. Now, we are in the 6th zone, about to be 7th, and this is going to be where the zone starts rotating completely. And these zones move relatively fast now in Vondel. So there's no point in me working this way. I need to start going towards zone. My biggest piece of advice in the end game is try to rotate early with the zones and utilize those zone pools to hold enemies as they rotate towards you. So we do check through here, don't see anyone. We're going to keep rotating, and I keep checking, and now I'm like, oh, there's a zip here. I can probably get up here, and I knew that most likely this would be safe because this was like the very, very edge of zone before it started moving. So I knew the chances of someone being up here were very slim. Now, as I come up here, notice 1, 2, 3 people in front of me. We're going to switch to the 5-4-5. We're going to mount for better accuracy. We get 2 very quick downs here. Get a reload off here. We're going to mount back up here. I've got great cover through the mount, and we get a 3rd kill. So we get 3 kills in a team wipe there. I've got to keep moving with zone, and look what happens here. Because we rotated early, now all of these guys are panicked and are catching up into zone. There's 2 people here. Gonna get 1 down here. Try to get the 2nd, but he smokes and gets away here. And again, watch the UAV up here. So having a UAV was also very clutch. We've got 1 player pinging here, 1 player way back in gas over here, and we are just holding, and the zone is gonna continue to pull this way. And we have just amazing coverage. So again, I'm going to keep moving. I'm keep looking back, and I want to make sure I am staying ahead with the zone and that I'm not getting caught in the gas. Because I also remember I burned my gas mask at this point. A little bit riskier, but we're going to throw a smoke and dive and try to immediately get into that smoke and find cover, which is going to be this wall right here. Only 1 player left at this point, which is actually going to be a riot shielder. But because my team played so well, we played ahead of zone here. We took high ground as well at zone. We're in a great spot here. It's a 4v1. Zone is going to start pulling back here. And honestly, I was a little bit worried here because it's a riot shielder. I'm like, man, is this guy going to try to do some crazy like gas heal off, stim glitch? I don't even know. So I was very concerned here because this guy lasts a very, very long time gas here though. So we're all just kind of playing together, looking towards gas. One of my teammates came up and he said he did hear an enemy here, like heard a coughing, and he ends up going down to the gas and actually gave me the kill because I was the last person to shoot at him. So there you go, 22 kill game, didn't die at all, sweaty lobby, but well executed mainly because of knowing where my enemy line of sights are and how to cut them off, knowing how to utilize cover, use movement when necessary, but not getting over the top with it. And that is going to be it. So please focus on those things. Guarantee you will notice a difference in your gameplays. Again, if you found this video helpful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more content just like this. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest. I'll show the loadout here, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, this is the Cast-Off 545 loadout. It's a very low recoil, fast handling build. Komodo heavy muzzle, tuned to recoil. F-Tac Ripper, can't tune it, but recoil and aiming stability when they re-enable tuning for the underbarrels here. High velocity, damage range, and bullet velocity tuning. 60 round mag, and Slimline Pro optic. Use whatever optic you want for that one. I've also got a, if you wonder how I get the green dot on there, it is the Spawn Fire blueprint. And then this is like a movement build MP5 with the no stock here. So L38 Falcon barrel recoil and damage range. The Sandstorm helps with that vertical recoil because we're running that no stock tuned to recoil here. 40 round mag, the rear grip that helps with recoil as well. Recoil and Sprintifire, and then that stockless mod.